guys, welcome back to the Style and Beauty Doctor on YouTube, and in today's video we're going to be talking about packing, specifically packing for a trip to Ghana. Now, I just came back. I'm a Ghana pro. No, I'm definitely not a Ghana pro. Don't listen to me. A couple of you guys left comments on my Ghana vlogs, which I definitely recommend that you watch because I go through. A lot of people have also told me that my vlogs have made them feel like they were theirs, which I'm like, thanks. Oh my God. Like, I love that because I wish you were there. But anyway, a couple of you guys had asked me if I can do a video on what I packed or what to pack for a trip to Ghana. So that's what we're going to do today. So keep watching. So this video is going to be more of like a general guide, and I'll interject, where it makes sense to let you know like what I brought or show you what I brought. For some of you, depending on where you are in the world, it may take you a while to get to Ghana. I would definitely recommend, especially after I did not love my flight arrangements, which were booked for me. And next time, if I do a group trip, I'm definitely booking my own flight arrangements. But we had a connecting flight. We went from JFK to Istanbul. Then there was a 9-hour layover in Istanbul. And then from Istanbul to Accra, we had another flight. Now, from JFK to Istanbul alone, I think that was about 9 hours. And then from Istanbul to Accra, I believe that was like 6, maybe 7 hours. And then that 9-hour layover, whoo, it's a lot. But the direct flight from JFK to Accra, I believe, is only about maybe 9 hours long, which now I'm like, that's so doable. It's funny too, because I did a long haul, super long haul flight to Australia when I was in junior high school. But as a kid, I feel like you don't even think about like, oh my God, I'm on a flight for so long. But anyway, let's talk about the plane bag first, because I think that's really important, especially if you're going to be on a longer flight. Now, you don't have to have a bag like this, obviously, but I like this bag because it's a hard case. You can take this off so you can kind of hold it like this, or you can, put it around you. But I like this because you can fit a lot of things in here, and there are sections, and it just makes it easier to kind of like pull things. Plus, this easily fits in the seat in front of you. Now, for a couple of flights, I was in bulkhead seats where I had to have the bag checked in the overhead bin when we were taking off and we were landing, but then other than that, like, it was with me the whole time. So I'll open it up and let you see what's inside. Although it's not like packed to go anywhere, it's kind of like I took the stuff that I needed out of it, and then stuff that I would need for a future trip are still kind of in it. But I like this bag because, oh, that looks a little messy. But I like this bag because it has these sections. So this is a little pocket here. And then you can unzip this, and then this is another little section underneath there, which is kind of cool. And then, then you have this section here that zips up. I keep saying plane bag here, but I really mean like your personal item, because these are things that you want to keep like where you can get it easily. So you're not having to go in the overhead and then get your carry-on bag and then open it up. And it's not, very convenient to open it up where you are, and it's like a mess and people are trying to sleep, but you're hitting them over the head with your carry-on bag. So these are things that you want to put in your personal item. So, which is why I recommended something like this, because it counts as a personal item and you can fit a lot of stuff in here. Because typically, now I can't speak for all airlines, so make sure you read the fine print, front and back, up and down, left to right, right to left. Make sure you fully understand their policies when it comes to your carry-on, because I have found within, the last couple of international trips that I have taken that they also weigh your carry-on bag and your personal bag, so those can't be overweight. In your plane bag, these are a couple of things that I think you should carry. Definitely body wipes, because, SHIT happens literally and figuratively. So you definitely want to have some body wipes. It's also good to have some like hand sanitizer. You never know when you're gonna, sneeze and you might need to sanitize your hands. Maybe you don't want to get up and wash your hands in the sink in the bathroom. Hand sanitizer, definitely. And then I would also carry the body wipes and the hand sanitizer with you on your whatever purse or bag that you're going to have with you when you go into certain places in Ghana, because you never know what the bathroom situation is going to be like. We went to a lot of posh places that had, you know, posh bathrooms, but some places we went to, the bathrooms weren't great, and I was so happy that I had my body wipes and my hand sanitizer with me. Also, what I would put in this bag, hand cream. You know, you're going to be washing your hands 50 million times. You definitely want to have some hand cream. Plus, it's good to keep moisturized because the plane is going to like just dry the mess out of you. And on that note of things drying you out, I would also bring a little bit of Neosporin in your personal item bag on the plane. I get sick a lot on the plane, and it's usually from the your nose drying out and then all that like nasty plane air going in it. Is you want to get moisture inside your nostrils. Now you can put moisturizer. I like to use the Neosporin because it's clear, but keep in mind that you've got like this clear salve on your nose and maybe like around your nose that people might think like, hey, you might want to blow your nose, but I don't care about that. I would rather people think that I have a runny nose than to actually get a cold and have an actual runny nose, you know? Now, along the lines of preventing yourself from getting sick, you also may want to bring some vitamin C cough drops. That works great for me, but if you have some sort of cough drop that works well for you, then by all means bring that. I like the vitamin C drops because they kind of really soothe my throat. They make sure that my throat, because a couple of times I fell asleep on the plane with my mouth open, and when I woke up, I was like, so in addition to having a glass of water, I also felt that the cough drops were really great at soothing my throat. In addition to that, you also may want to bring something like Emergen-C, something to kind of boost your immune system, because trust me, I've gotten sick on planes so often. The last thing you want to do is be sick at your destination. So, you know, bring some stuff on there with you to help you to boost your immune system. And of course, you want to bring other medications. I have asthma, so I kept my inhaler. I also brought Advil, so like if I got a headache, I had something right away that I could just grab. I also had like little heating pads because I was like, okay, they got me scrunched up in this seat and, you know, my back or my knee or something might hurt. So I got those little like heat pads that you can get from like any drugstore. You can order them from Amazon. Also along the lines of medication, you know, whatever sleeping aids that you might need. Even if your destination is a warm place, or even if you're leaving from a place that's very warm, I would still bring a scarf, an oversized scarf at that. Because one, it can double as a blanket if you get cold and, you know, there aren't any blankets for whatever reason. I do think that a long-haul flight is going to give you at least a blanket, but with some of these airlines, you never know. What I used to do on a lot of flights is I would take the scarf and make sure I covered my nose and my mouth when I fell asleep, which is probably what I should have did last time, because then that kind of helps, you know, keep me from getting like the nastiness all, you know, in my, like, you know, similar when you go out in the cold and you cover your face. Also, when it comes to your plane bag, any dental needs, floss, especially floss, because I kind of feel like, all right, if you leave your toothbrush and your toothpaste, there's a chance that you'll get it in your amenities bag from the airline. But floss, I think especially is important because, like, if you're eating something and it just gets stuck in your teeth, like, to me, that is like agony, having something stuck in your teeth and you're like on a long flight. So make sure you bring some floss with you. A little thing of mouthwash if you might need it as well. I would also bring some skincare items. Now, I personally prefer and would recommend that you do your skincare routine before you get on the plane. In one of my vlogs, you can kind of see me talking through my pre-flight skincare routine. It's just that I feel like the best time for your skin to get that moisture is like right after you wash it, and the plane air can be so dry and it kind of like just zaps your skin. Make sure you check out that vlog so you can see what I usually do. But, you know, there are some things that you want to bring with you that you would need to apply or reapply during flight. I would definitely suggest like a hydrating mist. You don't have to get anything super fancy. Some of the amenity kits carry the hydrating mist, but you know, you don't want to chance that and maybe you get one and you're like, I don't really like this. So bring a little travel size hydrating mist, especially if you have dry skin. That's something that you want to spray periodically. Now when you spray it, please spray nicely. Don't be all shit and getting your neighbors and whatnot. Try to take that in the bathroom and spray it, you know? A little thing of deodorant, a moisturizer, you know, just in case, like if the flight is that long and I need to re-moisturize, you know, wash my face and re-moisturize. But bring some sort of like lip balm or a lip oil because your lips can get really, really dry and we know that like licking them does not help. So I kept my Ulta lip oil in my plane bag because I needed to reapply. So I carried these things in my bag, but I didn't really use them, but you never know. So like, you know, sometimes you get the little like free samples when you go to Sephora, Ulta, or even the drugstore. Sometimes they'll give you some free samples. So just in case I needed them, I threw them in there. My girl Felicia Walker from This That Beauty has a really cool tip that she mentioned a couple of years ago. When you have these like sample bags, instead of like opening it up and exposing all of the product, just to take like a little pin or a pen and kind of stick it in there, and then you know you can dispense the product better without exposing all of it. So that's a really great tip. Then I would also bring sunscreen, because since you're going to be so close to the sun while you're in the plane, you know that the sun's rays can get through those windows, and you want to make sure you're protected. I just brought this Peter Thomas Roth Instant Mineral Broad Spectrum SPF 45 sunscreen. It's something that I also carry around with me, especially in the summertime when I want to reapply my sunscreen over my makeup and then also touch my makeup up. So it's, you know, it's a powder and you just kind of dust it on. It's also great for retouching your makeup, but you can also use this when you're not wearing makeup as well. Also, you might want to bring a little sample of your facial cleanser and maybe some makeup remover. Typically, I almost never wear makeup on a flight unless like I already had makeup on before the flight and it's a short flight going home, or like I don't think there's ever been a time when I needed to be like ready as soon as I left, got off the plane. But if that's a situation, then, you know, of course that would be a situation. But bring some makeup remover in your plane bag as well. Make sure that it's, you know, under the 3 ounces if it's a liquid or a gel. Because if you get on the plane and you have makeup on and you like, oh, I want to take this makeup off, you know, take your makeup off. Bring an extra change of undies. Self-explanatory. I showered when we got to the lounge in Istanbul. Keeping an extra change of clothes in your carry-on bag is definitely a good idea, because you never know. Because if your suitcase gets delayed when you reach your final destination, you at least have, you know, something to wear when you get off the plane and, you know, need to start your day at your destination. Snacks, I would definitely bring snacks. I overpack snacks because I was like, oh my God, what happens if like, I don't know, there's a famine on the airplane. It was just like ridiculous. But carrying packs of oatmeal is really smart though, provided you like oatmeal, because you can ask the flight attendant for a cup of hot water and then you got yourself like an instant meal. Extra batteries. Make sure the extra batteries actually work for the device. Headphones is another thing that I would say to bring, noise canceling ones. So also make sure you have your chargers for your electronic devices. Most planes will have a USB port, so you know that can work for almost whatever device that you have. But still make sure that your device is fully charged, because if that power does not work, then you know at least you have a fully charged device. I would also bring like an extra battery device, like a Mophie or what have you. Make sure that's fully charged. Some airlines will have the USB power strip right in the seat in front of you. But like for instance, our flight from Istanbul to Accra didn't have power at all. Thankfully, my phone was already charged from the previous flight and I had a Mophie with me. So if my phone did kind of go low on battery, I could have just kind of plugged it into that extra Mophie charger. But entertainment. A lot of airlines are going to have like pretty decent entertainment systems in the chair, in the head in front of you. But there's some things that can happen. 1, you can be on a shifty airline that doesn't have any entertainment. 2, you can be in a seat where the entertainment doesn't work. Or 3, you know, it could work and there's, you know, tons of entertainment, but you don't watch none of that stuff. So make sure you load up on lots of downloads on Netflix and Hulu. And this is something you want to do like a day or 2 before your flight. Make sure you're on like on a Wi-Fi connection and you can download as many, and make sure the downloads work the day before you actually have to get on the plane. You would hate to get on like a 12-hour flight and then like have nothing to do, you know? But yeah, these downloads on Hulu or Netflix can work whether or not you have Wi-Fi. You can even put your phone on airplane mode and watch these offline and, you know, they'll still work. A book or 2, because, you know, suppose your electronic device doesn't work, all the power is out in your seat, but everybody else's power is on. Bring a book or 2, you know, just in case. And plus, reading's great anyway. Those are the things that you want to carry in the plane bag. I kind of feel like the stuff that you put in the plane bag is more important than the stuff that you put in like your check bag, like your clothes and stuff like that. Because I always kind of feel like unless you're going to like some remote forest or remote mountain or something like that, I feel like most things that you might forget, you can always buy at your destination. Might not be the ideal price, it might not be the ideal brand, but I do kind of feel like, you know, those are things that you can somewhat replaced if you lose it or you forgot to pack it. But when you're on that plane, you are on that plane. I think the plane bag is extremely important to make sure that you're fully stacked. So now let's talk about the other stuff that you need to pack. Now, before we even get into what's in the suitcase, I would definitely check with your airline to make sure that you fully understand their policy on luggage, maximum weights, and so on and so forth. And my American people, make sure that you realize, like, if something's in kilograms or if it's in pounds. Make sure you know how many pieces of checked luggage that you can get, what the fees are. Can you get anything for free? Can you get a special status? Can you sign up for their mileage or whatever? Figure that out with your airline, because that's going to vary from airline to airline. On Turkish Airlines, we were allowed 2 checked bags. I only needed to check 1 bag, but because, again, I couldn't have so much weight in my carry-on, everything that I had in my carry-on went into my check bag. But I also checked another bag that was maybe 12 pounds, 15 pounds, because I was like, you know what, just in case I buy something, I'm going to put that in the empty suitcase, you know? So bring an extra suitcase if you can, or like a duffel bag or something, because when you go to Ghana, you're probably going to want to bring things home. A lot of people in my group brought home sculptures, they brought home paintings. I would have liked to have brought home art, but I'm in the process of redecorating and I don't know my theme, so I didn't want to pick anything up and then, you know, get home and be like, oh, it doesn't go. So when it comes to clothes, now the kind of clothes that you bring is going to depend on your activities. So our group trip was coordinated by the Gone to Ghana team, and we had an itinerary. So I knew what kind of clothing that I would need for certain activities, and then they also coordinated some group photo shoots. So I had to make sure that I had outfits that went with the group photo shoots as well. Now, your itinerary might look completely different from mine. What I can say in general, make sure you bring breathable fabrics. So linen, cotton. Ankara print is very popular, not only because it looks amazing on our beautiful skin, but also because it's very comfortable to wear in the extreme heat. I would say that maybe about 85 to 95% of items that you can find on Fashion Nova are not what you want to bring to wear during the daytime. If you're going out for a party or something like that at night when it's a little bit cooler, fine. But I'm telling you, you're not going to want to be wearing no poly blends or anything like that in that heat, okay? When it comes to shoes, now I own a lot of shoes, but when I travel, I do not bring a lot of shoes with me. Shoes take up a lot of space, and I kind of feel like you wind up not needing them unless you're going to, like, even if your trip is fashion focused, I still feel like you can structure your outfits around 1 or 2 pairs of shoes. I feel like, to me, packing a lot of shoes just doesn't make any sense. So I only had 3 pairs of shoes total. 1 pair of shoes that I wore to travel in were my sneakers. And I made a mistake with my sneakers because I was so used to wearing my platform sneakers as like my everyday sneakers around New York that when I got dressed to go to the airport, I just kind of slipped those on. And when I got to Ghana, I was like, oh shoot, I really meant to bring like some real sneakers for some of these activities. But I made it through with the platform sneakers, even though I'm clumsy, by the grace of God. I also brought a pair of Teva sandals. When I tell you, those Teva sandals, the ones I had in particular were really good because they had really good traction to them, and because of the type of material, I could get those wet and they would dry like instantly. Those shoes in particular were great for, I could have hiked in them. I was able to walk around all day in them. I wore them when we went to Afrochella. I wore these shoes anytime we needed to go anywhere that didn't require a sneaker. I wore those shoes and they were great. They were super comfortable. I felt like they're not flat down on the ground so that your foot doesn't have any support. They had snaps on them so your foot felt secure. I really love those shoes. And the other pair of shoes that I bought were some leopard print mules, and I only wore those for like photo shoot days, and not even photo shoot days. I had them in my bag for photo shoot days. I had the Tevas on walking around, and then when we were getting ready to take the picture, then I would switch the shoes out. And then I wore the mules for the 2 nights out, Christmas Day and New Year's Eve. Oh, Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve. So don't pack a lot of shoes. I'm like, I just feel like there's so many other things that you can put in your suitcase besides filling it up with shoes because they take up so much space and they weigh so much. You definitely want to check the weather before you go, assuming it's going to be some level of hot. But check the weather because they do have a rainy season. And you probably, I don't know, you may want to do some research on whether it makes sense for you to go during rainy season and when that rainy season is. Now, when it comes to bags, you want to bring a book bag if you're going to be doing any kind of like outdoor activities, or maybe some sort of pouch that is easy for you to get into. If you bring a book bag, okay, so I'm going to say this, but this is not like specific to Ghana. This is just in general because I felt extremely safe in Ghana, but you know, when you travel, you never know, okay? A pouch might be easier because that's like right here on you. Book bags are easier for someone to kind of pickpocket you. If you're going in a group and you have like a lot of things, a book bag might work well, but just kind of make sure where you keep the zippers and be cognizant of your surroundings. Again, I felt super safe in Ghana. I didn't think like, they would probably give me their stuff before they would take my stuff, I feel like, but you never know, and you know, you want to make sure that you're safe. Also, in terms of bags, I didn't carry a lot of bags either. This folds down because I brought this with me on the trip, and it's like a Cult Gaia knockoff that I got from Amazon. I'll link this below. But this was super cute. What I did was I put like a little, almost like a bigger change purse inside of here, where I kind of kept like my credit cards, my money, my CDs, and all my other stuff inside of that pouch, and then I put the pouch in here. But this was really cool because, you know, you open it up, you can open it up and fold it like this, fold it down. You can either fold it down flat or you can go like this, and it could easily pack in your suitcase. So this was the only like bag that I brought with me, like, you know, like handbag, like cute accessory handbag. Other bag that I brought with me was more of like a tote bag, and that was kind of like where it might throw all, like I throw my vlogging camera, all my stuff for the day, my mini fans, my bottle of water, like just a regular tote, one that zipped at the top to just kind of make it easy for me when it came to like, you know, more of the physical activities and day-to-day things that weren't like super like cute, you know? Also in your check bag, bring your bigger bottle of sunscreen, because you're going to need to reapply and you'll be out and you'll be sweating a lot. You want to make sure you have enough, you know? Also going to want to carry bug spray. Now, the thing with bug spray, you may want to wait till you actually get to Ghana to buy the bug spray because, you know, they're going to know what kind of bug spray works best for the bugs that are there. Funny thing is though, 9.5 days that I was in Ghana, I don't remember seeing bugs. There was a bug at that one hotel though. But when we were out, like, I didn't get bit by any mosquitoes or anything like that. That doesn't mean that they're not there. So, and get your yellow fever shot. I'll talk about the yellow fever shot in my Q&A video. Sunglasses, although it seemed like everywhere we went, there was some guy with like a whole big thing with sunglasses. I kid you not, like almost everywhere we went. Now, like I mentioned before, it's going to be hot. So you're going to want to bring fans. So we were given this fan in our welcome package from the Going to Ghana group, but you can buy, you know, fans when you get to Ghana. But I would assume that maybe not one of your first activities when you get there is going to be like going to the market or going to some place where things are being sold. So make sure you bring one with you. These electronic fans, this one in particular is by USB, so I can plug this into a computer and charge it through the computer. Or I can, you know, get one of those like, you know, the iPhone plugs or whatever and plug it into the wall. And we'll talk about converters and adapters and things like that. But this is something that was a lifesaver. I didn't need to use it as much because, again, it wasn't that hot to me. It was hot, but it wasn't like, you know, unbearable hot. I did need to use this when we were at Elmina because the sun was just like blazing. But this is something that you may want to get. I actually bought 2 of them because I was like, okay, just in case one breaks. And then this one has different, what do you call it, intensities. So you can go high, medium, low. And I like this one because it folds up. I'll put a link to this in the description box as well as a link to the other one that I bought from Amazon. Along the lines of fans and things like that, you may want to bring like a rag with you, like a washcloth or a hand towel or something like that. Something small that you can keep with you to kind of, you know, blot the sweat. I brought one with me, but then I wound up not needing to use it because, again, I was hot, but I wasn't like, it wasn't unbearable for me. What would have been unbearable for me is if I didn't bring some chub rub. So basically, you want to bring some sort of like balm or something that you can put, like if you have thighs that touch, you may have in the past experienced the chafing that comes from it, or if you're like doing a lot of physical activity, you might chafe on the back of your heels or your toes. So something like this. This one I got from Vaseline. It's called the All Over Body Balm Jelly Stick. This worked super well for me. I use this here in New York as well, but I was surprised to see that it worked in the heat in Ghana, but I did need to reapply, so I kind of kept this in my bag. But this is something that is gonna, you know, give you some lube, for lack of a better term, so that when your skin is touching, it's not causing like that friction and giving you blisters and chafing. So I like that, and that's something that could also, you know, you could take some off on your hand, put it on your heels, where you might also get a blister, and you can put it around your toes as well. It's also good to, like, if you're trying to break in a new pair of shoes as well. Bring your malaria pills. That's probably something that when you got your yellow fever shot that they gave you as a prescription. Definitely don't want to mess with that because malaria is a real thing, and I've watched tons of YouTube videos on people traveling to Ghana and people that have actually said that, yeah, I got malaria. So make sure you take your malaria pills, your Emergen-C, your Imodium, your regular cough syrup, like whatever your regular daily medication. Like I brought I brought so many inhalers with me. It was as if like I thought that, you know, I would have an asthma attack like every hour. But thankfully I only needed to use my inhaler maybe 2 or 3 times. But whatever medicines that you need, make sure you bring it. Now, yes, there are pharmacies and there are places in Ghana where you can pick up medication and you probably get the similar or, you know, close enough active ingredient. Somebody on our trip got sick and she was given something that was bought from one of the pharmacies in Ghana, and she was like, wow, that medicine worked amazing. So, you know, that worked out for her. But if you have like specific medicine needs, you know, make sure you bring that with you. And it's always good to just, you know, have things on you because, you know, you might get sick and maybe the pharmacy's closed, you know? I would definitely for sure bring, this is something that you need to bring with you on any trip. This is a luggage scale, and basically what happens is, now I'm not gonna, obviously not going to show you with an actual suitcase because ouch. I've done enough of that lifting already. But essentially what you do is you get the luggage scale part into the handle of your suitcase, and then you secure it. You secure it, and then you hold the luggage until the thing, what do you call it? The monitor stops, because it's going to, you know, it's trying to register. You know, obviously make sure you turn it on before you do it. This can weigh in kilograms as well as in pounds, and this is something that will definitely come in handy, especially when you're coming back home and you've picked up a bunch of souvenirs and trust me, when you go to Ghana, you're going to bring at least one thing home. Maybe the whole of Ghana, like if you can fit the country of Ghana into your suitcase and bring it back to America, that would be great. But no, you definitely want a luggage scale because you don't want to get to the airport and your bag is overweight and you're going through all the drama of trying to figure things out. Like, you don't want to do that. You obviously need an adapter. Now, I got this off of Amazon. I will link it in the description box, as well as I will link the luggage scale in the description box as well. Now, there was some confusion amongst our group as to what cords or what adapter you would actually need, like what's the current in Ghana. And for the most part, it's the UK plug like this. Now that can get confusing because you're thinking, well, the UK is in Europe, so I can get a European plug. No, not the European plug, because the UK has its own current that's different from other places in Europe. So you want the plug that looks like this. I can't remember the type for it, but when you go to the link on Amazon, it will tell you what type. So this is basically what you need to use. Now, I did my own research, and from that research was told that some places also use the type of plug that they also use in India. So I also bought that, but I never wound up needing to use it. So I don't know if that's like in you know, very small parts, or we just didn't go to those parts of Ghana that use that. But you know, you want to make sure that your electronics that you bring plug in. Now, more than likely you are not going to need a converter. Pretty much you may only need an adapter so that your plugs can go into the wall. So like this one has that, and then this plugs into the wall there. A converter sometimes is more expensive, and without going into grave detail about what converters do and, you know, whatnot, because I'm not even sure if I understand it all the way there myself, but converters basically convert the current so that it can be used in a different country, because, you know, the current is different in different countries. That's the easiest way that I can explain it. Most electronics that we use automatically convert. That's your iPhone, your Android, your laptop made after like 2010, you know, most of your iPad, most of your things that use a USB cord. You could stick that in there as anyway. Most of the things that use a USB cord might automatically convert. Most of your electronics. You know, definitely double check before you go listen to me and think, oh, it's gonna automatically convert, and then you put it in and it blows out. So don't do that. Only time you're gonna need a converter is for things like hair dryers and curling irons. And those are things that I would just be like, it's so not worth it to bring it. Because one, if you're at a hotel, they're gonna have a hair dryer for you that is going to be the right current for where you are. And then two, like, who want to be on vacation? Get some braids. You know? Anyway, and then for my gents with your shaving devices, I have no clue about that. I'm sorry. You're going to have to like go on another video. And speaking of braids, let's quickly talk about beauty. Now, obviously, you can get your hair braided inexpensively in Ghana. You can ask your hotel or, you know, Google around or, you know, look on Instagram to see, you know, where some places will be where you're staying. I opted to get my hair braided before I went on the trip because I won't be on a trip waiting 8-9 hours to get my hair braided when, you know, there's a whole itinerary and, you know, like, the group doing this thing and I'm here getting my hair braided. But anyway, I would definitely suggest getting some sort of protective style. Braids seem to be the easiest and most popular option amongst people in my group and just people in general going. Something that's comfortable, that's easy to do. Like, there's so many fun things to do that I feel like when you go to a place like Ghana, unless you're like going to visit family and it's like really chill, and even when it's really chill and laid back, like, ain't nobody got time to be doing hair. Especially for me, where I was on such a regimented trip, that it was so easy to just get up and not have to do my hair. Like, even when we were getting dressed to go out, all I had to do was my makeup, you know, shower, of course. And then I'm ready. And then on days when I didn't have any makeup on, it was like shower, put on moisturizer and sunscreen, I'm ready. So definitely get some sort of really easy protective style. Makeup wise, I would say you can bring a small amount of makeup. I wound up only wearing makeup like if I knew we were taking pictures or when we were going out at night. Other than that, I was not wearing makeup because I was being lazy. I didn't want to put it on, one. And then two, I was like, ooh, I'm especially being lazy when I get back because I'm not going to want to do the extra steps to take it off. So I was just like, I'm just not going to wear it. But make sure you check out my videos on how to stay beating the heat, because if you do want to wear makeup, it is possible to wear makeup in Ghana throughout the day and get it to last. So make sure you check that out. Bring your summer shade foundation with you just in case. You know, I ain't getting no tan. I ain't bitter about it or anything. But make sure you bring your summer foundation with you because you might be a different color immediately upon arriving. In terms of the actual makeup products that I would kind of like bring with me on a trip, I have a video that you can take a look at. I will link it here in the cards as well as in the description box so you can check it out. But typically when I travel, I don't bring things that I would be upset about if I lost them. I'd be upset if I lost a $2 lipstick, but not as much as I would if I lost a Pat McGrath lipstick, you know? So I tend to bring mostly like smaller sized drugstore items, drugstore palettes and things like that, where I don't have to have a whole bunch of things to save space, and also like if it gets broken or I lose it, it's not such a big deal. Yeah, for what else I would typically bring, like contour, highlight, all that other stuff, check out that other video. I brought my Juvia's Place foundation with me because I really like how that looks, and it's $15, so it's, or $20 or something like that, which, you know, again, I'd be mad if I lost it or if it like spilled all over the place, but it wouldn't be the end of the world, you know? Then I bring your warm weather skincare. I've mentioned sunscreen a number of times. Make sure you bring, you know, your sunscreen for your face. Make sure you bring a daily gentle cleanser. You may also need to bring a small deep cleanser. Whatever you use on your skin, typically at home, and when it's warm out, make sure you bring that, which means, you know, a lighter moisturizer, a mattifying moisturizer if you have oily skin. Definitely want to make sure you bring your nighttime moisturizer, because just because it's hot doesn't mean you skip on your nighttime routine. Any hydrating serums or anything that you might need, especially after traveling. Sometimes your skin can get a little dry. I also brought my Clarisonic with me because my travel size Clarisonic with me because we were gone for so long. I only used it once. but I was glad that I had it because I kind of felt like with all the sweating and, you know, things like that, I felt like I needed a nice, good, deep cleanse. Okay, this video was long. Thank you if you made it up to this point. I wanted it to be as detailed as possible because people tend to ask me a lot of questions, and you know, I wanted to make sure that, you know, the video had enough information where the questions aren't as many. But leave me a comment below. Is there anything that you would pack that I did not mention? You know, obvious things like, I think I mentioned underwear a bunch of times here, but you know, there might be other like obvious things that I didn't like mention because I kind of feel like they were obvious, but they may not be obvious to everyone. So if I missed something like that, leave a comment, let me know. Have you been to Ghana before? Do you live in Ghana? Let me know about that in the comments. Get all chitty chatty. Follow me on social. The links will be in the description box, and I will see you fine folks in my next video. Bye guys.